bayethe wena
Tiso tethu tivikelwa ngekuthi
Sifiso sahulumende welive laKangwane ukuthi lonke eLeswati liphile impilo lenhle nalenethedekile. Kuphumelelisa ke lesifiso uhulumende waseSwatini wabata imali esikhwameni se-Regional Development Fund RDF micro project kanye naleto letikhishwa matiko lahlukene. Kuleti khwama ke uhulumende usukumise imisebenzi yetintfutfuko netinhlalakahle kusuka emimangweni nasemiphakathini lapho kuhleti khona eMaswati. Timali ke kuleti khwama nguletingabuyiselwa emuva kanti ke tabelwa tonke tinkhundla velonke. Bukela luhlelo sive siyathutfuka utibonele imisebenzi yentutfuko nenhlalakahle leseyigucule tinkhulungwane netinkhulungwane teMaswati. Luhlelo ke lungena njalo ngelesine naseyigabence insimbi yesikhombisa kusihlwa luphindwe ngalesihlanu ngensimbi yelishumi ekseni nangemgcibelo ngensimbi yesine ntsambama. Sive siyathutfuka.
A very good morning and welcome to Kusile Breakfast Show. It is the 13th of November 2023. So ngekuphela umnyaka wa 2023 sithemba ukuthi kunengi lokwendile kulona mnyaka sisangena nje emnyakeni lomusha wa 2024 asikuvuselela lapho ubukela khona umsakazo Eswatini TV. You can also watch this show on our YouTube page khona Eswatini TV. Good morning and welcome. My name is Lungelele Makakula nemnguni lapha celeni ngane mnguni. How are you? How was your weekend?
Oh, nalishubunakubili bokusho phela.
Oh, shumnakubili. Yeah.
No, I'm doing very well, Lulu. How are you?
I'm great, Sfiso. Not great, really. I think in Jetinzaba solo stibona over the weekend, kuna lenye nje leveli le inzaba ye GPV South Africa nakhona lapha ekhaya Eswatini ukusho ukuthi vele lenkinga yinkulu kakhulu Sfiso.
Kodwa nje I think kuyakhuthata kubona ama interventions. I think isibabonile emaphoyisa evikini eliphelile nje laphamisa umsebenzi lomkhulu wokukhuthata sive nekusexwayisa ngato inzaba the gender based violence kusifundisa kabanti ukuthi ithinta imphawu talo lo takuhlukubeta ukuthi vele singakugwema kanjani kanti ke siyadibona nje inhlelo tiningi tiyasukuma siyambona swaka umkhankaso 1 billion rising. We even see people advocating on social media lungelele ngoba inzaba yethu sonke nanathi kufuna sidlala lichaza kuthenini sikhuthate sive seMaswati futhi sisexwayise futhi sisefundzise ngato inzaba the gender based violence kutheni kube yinvo yayitolo. We don't want to get into a situation whereby we talk about this thing every day ngoba lokho phela kusho ukuthi sekuphinza kwenteka njengoba usho nje ukuthi you are not really feeling well because yet again we've seen another headline lokho ke kuyaqhubeka kuyasishaqisa kodwa I'm aware you will be having a conversation that will be addressing this on a psychological perspective.
Yeah, we'll be joined by a psychologist lo suka khona emanzini psychiatric hospital Phephile suka tatachazela nje kabantu nje ngama early signs ekubona umuntu longathi uya umuntu lo abuse nako ku relationship esifuna ukukhulumisana nanje ukuthi ngabe vele mhlambe ikhona ngivele timpawu la kucaleni ku relationship letitshengisako ukuthi lo muntu lo akalungu uyabuzeana either physically or emotionally nekuthi mangabe sawutibonile ke leto timpawu wenda kanjani ukuzama ukuphuma kule relationship and also to find out nje ukuthi ingabe vele mhlambe kusuke kuhambani la ngcoveni yethu mangabe ngidawucubeka ngihlale kule relationship ngalokho enye isikhathi uyakhanza ukuthi loyo umuntu ohlukubetokako akakhoni kutshela mhlambe umndeni wakhe noma labo lasonzelene nabo so sitha besikhulumisana naye Phephile kuva nje ukuthi ngabe sive seMaswati singasidakala kanjani sive seMaswati sithatha ikhanza siku relationship lapho sihlukubetwa khona sabe sinaye nga 6:30.
Well, muhle angikuvusele ekuseni ngigcine ngingavuseli mina lungelele nje angibe courteous thatha leli thuba ngivusele Maswati lamahle. It is a beautiful Monday morning. Makhada ke lo muhla temperatures will be starting from 11 degrees Celsius akhuphukele ku 15 degrees Celsius. Makhada nje start sikufuthumetha kancane ngetindzaba atetemidlalo naye Linda Master Dlamini magabanca insimbi yesikhombisa. We want to look at our local MTN Premier League. We saw Young Buffaloes stunning Denver Sundowns this past weekend. A couple of other exciting games like Money Pirates with that 2-2 draw with Mbabane Swallows. But we also do want to look at the Soweto Derby in South Africa where we saw Orlando Pirates benda labatu mengago umabahlangene Kaizer Chiefs. Stunning Kaizer Chiefs. What a beautiful game it was. We'll discuss that further with Master later on the show. On the English Premier League front, we saw the probably arguably most exciting and thrilling game, which was between London Blues Chelsea against Manchester City. It was the Battle of the Blues. Game 4-4. We really do want to discuss this game in detail because it was very exciting, and particularly because it went contrary to popular belief. When the game started, a lot of people, including Chelsea fans, were of the belief that Chelsea itodliwa kule game leyo. Godfa, it looked like Chelsea was really strong, and indeed the results really portrayed because Chelsea was strong enough to give the strong Manchester City side a 4-4 draw. We'll discuss all of that with Linda Master Dlamini. It is a beautiful Monday morning. You've been touching on the fact that which is December, the formation of the parliament of parliament nanayo konke nje kuhle abafundisi besibeba babakhulumela silo 12 ubusiseke kangakanani ngisho naseBhayibhelini. It's going to be an interesting end of the year as well. But asisibuke emaphephandzaba lomhla ekseni ukuthi ngitifi indzaba lethamba imbili.
Sicela sibuke i-Times of Eswatini, sibuka leti hamba embili. Indzaba lehamba embili ngiyo lena lisayidiscussa nje lamuhla na psychologist. GBV cases withdrawal frustrates DPP's office. Survivors prefer to suffer in silence, cite cultural norms and loss of maintenance. Yeah, indzaba lenkulu impela. Kuletinye tamba embili, civil servant accused of 5 million amalangeni fraud has been suspended. And probe after 2 Asians mysteriously released from prison. More on that story on page 4. Kulenyelamba party prepares for election of regional women MPs.
Good Temidlalo on the Times of Eswatini this Monday morning. The leading headline there in relegation 6-pointer. Rangers shoot down Wesleyans. Minos scored 2 unanswered goals to put faltering Giants to sword. More on that story kona lapha ngemuva ephephandzabeni le Times. Kanzike FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup qualifiers. Ghana Under-20s humiliate Eswatini. I won't elaborate on that one. I see all them nuns. Siphinze sibuke Sundowns that has lifted historic AFL title. Those are the leading headlines on Times of Eswatini Temidlalo lomhla ekseni.
Asibuka Eswatini Daily News iti ihloko lethamba embili, put God first ahead of everything, kusho kweNgwenyama. Kanti kulenyele hamba embili, alleged fraudsters granted 20,000 emalangeni bail. And lenyele hamba embili kulendzaba ye 1.2 million emalangeni reconstruction fund fraud case.
Temidlalo Eswatini Daily News this Monday morning. Rangers stun wasteful Wesleyans. Minos add more misery on limping Hub Giants after beating the wasteful side 2-0 at Mavusa Sports Center on Sunday. On another one, Fash denies Birds top spot. In South Africa, Sundowns have lifted the historic AFL title.
Right, so 8 minutes after 6, special tema suspended in Zabata Swati.
Umsakazo wetithombe iEswatini TV utibophelele kuhlonipha nekulandzela umgomo wetekusakata loweluswe libandla letekuchumana eveni.
Ngephansi kwalomgomo sitimisele kusakata tindzaba letentiya ngaleso sikhatsi tindzaba letide emagama lacosheme letitsembekile letitsintsa tonke tinhlangothi naletisebaleni
kusukela kutepolitiki, tetemphilo, tekulima, tetinkantolo netemhlaba wonke jikelele siniletsela tindzaba njengoba tinjalo ngaleso sikhatsi letenteka ngaso.
Kanzi kulomsakato siphindze sikulethele lonke luhlobo lwetemidlalo kusuka emidlalweni welibhola letinyawo kuye emidlalweni ledlalelwa ematafuleni kanye naleto letichamuka ngaphandle kwakuleli.
Leti tindzaba lotiletselwa ngumsakazo wetithombe iEswatini TV.
Kwala muhla siphindze sikwamukele ehlelweni imizuzu ilishumi kubumbene insimbi yesithupha ngesikhathi sanyalo sitawuthatha tindzaba talapha ekhaya. Livese libe nemcimbi wekukhumbula emasotsha lawa etimphini temhlaba letimbili. Nomcimbi bewubanjelwe endlunkulu yembutho wetekuvikela eNokwane. Kanti-ke silo semhlaba besimelelwe nguMoses Mathendele eDlamini.
Live leSwatini lihlanganyele nemhlaba wonke ekukhumbuleni lamaqhawe elatidzela kuletimpi temhlaba letimbili nasekuhlonipheni lawo masotsha lasaphila lalwa kito letimpi. Umcimbi wekukhumbula emasotsha lalwa etimpini temhlaba letimbili bewubanjelwe endlunkulu yembutho wetekuvikela eNokwane. Silo semhlaba besimelelwe nguMoses Mathendele eDlamini. Kanti lo mcimbi bewungenelwe nangidvunankulu welive Mmiso Russell Dlamini, mengameli wendlu yetimphunga Lindiwe Dlamini nalabanxusele emave abo kuleli. Umcimbi uhambisane nekuthi kuthathwe imizuzu lemibili kukhunjulwa lamaqhawe. Kubekeke netimbali tesikhumbuto kukhumbula wona emasotsha latidzela kanti loqale kubeka timbali kube ngilobekamelele silo semhlaba. Ulandzele lababeke timbali ekumelela emasotsha lalwa empini yemshadza kanye-ke nemsizi. Ubese-ke sekulandzela ndvunankulu welive Mmiso Russell Dlamini. Labanye labalandzele kube ngumabhalane lomkhulu ehhovisi leliphini landvunankulu Melusi Masuku lababuke imibutho yakuleli nabolisiba lukhulu labanxusele emave lahlukahlukene kuleli nalabanye. Kulo mcimbi kuvele ukuthi selinye lisotsha lelisele kulawo masotsha yakuleli lalwa kuletimpi kanti ngenxa yokuhamba kweminyaka nake ndengandenga kwesimo sempilo alikakhona ukuba ingcenye yawo umcimbi. Bekakwenzabeni ngisandile emakhaya eNokwane.
Umngani wemakhosi indvunalo Sendvo Fakutse seyikhutsate sive ukuthi sigucule ingqondo kabusha benta intsandvo yaNkulunkulu kude live liphile likhona ekubhekana netimo letahlukene. Indvuna beyikhuluma ngesikhathi sive nebazalwane bemphakathi wasenkanini babambe inkonzo yemthandazo yekwephetha umnyaka.
Sive nebazalwane bemabandla lehlukene benkolo yobuKristu bahlanganyele nebamfula abadzala bemphakathi wasenkhanini kaLobamba enkonzweni yokwephetha umnyaka. Leli bandla liphakamise idandla dalibhekisa kulomdzala wetinsuku bathandazela simo lesibonakala sanza eveni sekuhlukubetana ngentebulili nekubulawa kwabomake.
Siyakholisa baba wethu lomane phambi kwesihlalo sakho sebukhosi sakho. Siyabonga uNkulunkulu omuhle ukuthi wena Nkosi uyeva imikhuleko yethu nekuthathelela baba kusesandleni sakho sekunene baba siyakhuleka Nkosi.
Umngani wemakhosi indvuna Sendvo Fakutse uhlephule emamvi kuba seRoma 12 livesi lekuqala lelikhutsata libandla ukuthi litigucule ingcomvo kabusha lente intsamvo yaNkulunkulu libandla futhi likwadi lokuhle.
Ngiyanincenga ngithi nikelani imtimba yenu ibe ngumnikelo lophilako nalongcwele nalwemukeleka kuNkulunkulu. Leyo ke ngiyona nkonzo yethu. Sibili.
Bafundisi bondlele libandla ngamavi lahlukene bakhutsata kucolelana kuthula nekubambana baphinze bathandazela nekuthi sonzeta kuNkulunkulu kubantfu labasha kude live laseSwatini liphile. Etindzabeni yeSwatini TV kubika Samkel Suekhoza ngasikhumbuzo Dlamini enganeni.
Umphathi wesifundza saselubonjeni Themba Msibi ukhutsata abalimi ukuthi sale bangena emasimini. Msibi uthi tindzawo letinyenti kulesifundza tibonakala tisengakawalimi emasimi. Lekuyintfo lekhatsatako njengoba sikhatsi sekuthi emaswati yalime sesifikile.
Sine lesingakhutsata balimi ukuthi lesi sikhathi sekulima lesi abaye emasimini njengoba linile nje ababaye bekunene bangamiswa ukuthi kuthiwa kutabana El Nino mhlawumbe uyafika El Nino sebewele. Sine nje sisaba abangena emasimini basebente balimi. Awu sifundza selibombo yebo kona kuleti ndzawo leti khona ukuthi kuthole emanti ekunisela kuyalunga lombila uyalunga nemabhontshisi bakhona ukuthi bathola. Kepha kuleti ndzawo lokhanza ukuthi vele kude nalamanti ekunisela. Vele labanengi baphephela lekubokotini. Baphephele kuletinye tilimo ngaphandle kwaleti affectwa kushisa kwelanga.
Enyakeni sibe nenkonzo ekuphela kweminyaka lapho bekubongwa simakadze ngeminyaka losetulu kanye nekuchubeka kucela tibusiso kuye lo mdzala wetinsuku. Lo mthandazo bewubanjelwe emphakatsini wakhona enyakeni ngelisonto.
Sibe sasenyakeni siphelele emphakatsini ngaphansi komthandankosi Jokovu wesibili enkonzweni yekuphela kweminyaka kuyokhonda lo mdzala wetinsuku. Bekuphumela lo mdzala nentsha kulo mthandazo. Induna Bheki Themba Makakula ithi imimango ayimatise uNkulunkulu njalo njalo.
Kumtoka kakhulu wena wekunene kakhulu ngoma Nkosi sikufunza khona kulomudze lokhona welive kuthi Nkosi kude tindolo tawutenda ngaphandle komthandazo njoba nje itolo besithandaza nalo kuthandaza nalelive kulibuyisa isimemo.
Liphoyisa lemgwaqo malungisa amavuso lifundzisa kabanti ngekuphepha emgwaqweni njengoba nawo ke amaphoyisa beka ingcenye yalomthandazo.
Siyanicela sivesakethu nabakithi bantu basenyakeni siyanicela kakhulu ukuthi tigcineni niphephile emgwaqweni nisashayela. Uqala la kuqaleni nje imoto yakho isasuka ekhaya. Bathi i-pre-trip inspection laba kwathi kulungisa kahle ulwimi lwesingisi. Na usasuka la ekhaya uhamba ngale moto utawuchecka ukuthi iyakhanyisa yini ngoba kunokende kubuye sekumnyama. Iya indicator yini inawo yini emabreki akade nenbreki kadeni uqala lapho.
Lo mthandazo lo njengalona ke buphinze ube kucela umnyaka lomusha lomuhle logcwele netibusiso kuthandazelwe ke nekuphepha nekuthula eveni laseSwatini. Etindzabeni ngimgiyani Msibi ngisenyakeni.
Kuqinisa tinhlelo tekulima kanye nekubhadala abantu labathengisele uhulumende impahla ngesikhathi kungilokunye lokutawusita ukuthi umnotfo uthuthuke kuleli. Lokho kushiwo ngusomnotfo Themba Dube.
Nanoma elibhangele elikhulu iCentral Bank lithi umnotfo wakuleli utawukhula ute ufike ku 4.9% kusuka eminyakeni lotako, kepha somnotfo Themba Dube uthi hulumende lo ngenako usenensayeya yekuthi umnotfo ukhule kakhulu kunaloko.
Ufuna indzaba the agriculture ibe ngelenakeke kakho. Nasikhuluma ngendzaba agriculture sikhuluma ngokuthi bani lobasha bakhona kusitakala ukuthi babe laba banzakenye nako ukuthi balime. I-advantage yekulima ngokuthi itasita usilive sikhona kuba ukuthi khicitela kudla ukhanze ukuthi ama prices ekudla te aba kuleli zinga lethu. So lama commodities la khonakala ukuthi singawakhicita thina singamaswati ungakhanza ukuthi inzengo yawo iyabuya phasi ke le inflation ayisabi ngale ndlela lelo loma ngayo. Lenye indzaba lengicabanga ukuthi idzinga ukuthi bayi-addresse very soon yindzaba yahulumende kubhadala asebenzisana nabo ema-suppliers. Umnotfo ngidawusebenzisa igama lesingisi ulubricate-wa ukuthi imali i-circulate. Now nangabe kutawuba khona ukuthi labanye bayasebenza ukhanze ukuthi kumbe sekuba ne-delay le kulokubhadala kwenta ukuthi lo mnotfo ungasaguquki ngalendlela ofanele uguquke ngayo. So nangabe uhulumende bekangakhona ukuthi akwende kube ngumkhuba wakhe lokuthi kungabi ne-time lag lenze kubhadala ema-suppliers.
Mengameli wenhlangano yabosomabhizinisi bemdzabu kaHoho Johannes Manikela lesikhulumisene naye ngelucingo uthi umnotfo wakuleli utawukhula uma uhulumende angachubeka isekele bosomabhizinisi ngetimali kude itawuba yiningi imali lesebenziswako lapha eveni. Etindzabeni teSwatini TV kubika Nelsiwe Ndlangamandla eMbabane.
Sikhwama inhlanyelo fund solo sivule tandla ekusiteni bafuyi nebalimi kude kukhule emabhizinisi abo. Emalunga alesikhwama avakashele umphakathi wasenyakeni ngosonto. Kuyawufundzisa kabanti ngekusebenza kwalesikhwama nekuyawuhlola inqubekela phambili kulasebazuzile kuso.
Injongo yesikhwama sakanhlanyelo fund kusita ngetimali labo lebasemabhizinisini lamancane lasachathuta lebabolekwa timali tekuchuba emabhizinisi abo. Mhlaba uhlangene Dlamini lofundzisa ngalesikhwama uthi bebasenyakeni lapho bebayawufundzisa khona kanti-ke sive sesenyakeni lesayithola le mali sisayibuyisa kahle impela kwamanje.
Lesikhwama lesi nyakeni yena benefita kakhulu vela ngoba nebantu abaningi kakhulu sizosakhona. Soba siyela ukuthi awu akubanjiswane kusetshenzwe sofaka labanye bantu. Bandla ke belisisekelelo ukuthi sivele lesikhwama ukuthi emaswati asitakale la angathola umsebenzi nalabo labangakhona ukuphila bakhona kwene ama project sobika lokho ukuthi cha sibambisene ngalolu bandla lapho simele sihlangana nje nelibandla sibuke iway forward ukuthi labanye labatawungena ngibathi ngoba lo mnyaka lokuphelile sibafakile bangena nje impela I think beba close to more than 100. Hayi kahle kakhulu response yabo hamba kahle kakhulu nyalo nje sihlala phansi sifuna kade sibone ukuthi sekubambe kubo I think kufanele abancane nje sibanikeze I think bayi 8.
Dlamini uthi siveke lesingakazuzi kulesikhwama asingesabi ukuxhumana nabo sifundiswe kabanti ngekuthola imali kulesikhwama njengoba lesikhwama side imicabo netincabekelwano letinenge kodwa ke sihlose kusita loyo muntu losebhizinisini noma labo bantu kodwa ukuthi bakhule nakusasa. Etindzabeni ngengiyane Msivingi senyakeni.
Libandla le-Good News kaManzini likhutsata abantu labasha ukuthi babhalise ngaphansi kweluhlelo lohlose kuthuthukisa indlela labacabanga ngayo olwatiwa nge-Mindset Change Program ngaphansi kweluhlelo lwe-International Youth Fellowship. Kanti kuyakhuluma ngesikhathi kugujwa ilanga lemavolontiya kuleli bandla amabhalane Sipho Ndlovu uthi babone ukuthi nabo badlale inzima yabo kwesekela abantu labasha njengoba sekude kahle emathuba emisebenzi.
Pastor David uthi betama kuvula tingqondo tebantfu labasha kude bangalilahli lithemba futhi batethembe. Uthi bayabacecesha nekuthi noma ingabe baqala emabhizinisi bangapheli emandla uma angaphumeleli kepha babuke lenye indlela yekwakha imali. Uqhubeka uthi babese bayabathatha labantfu labasha babacecesha emisebentini yetandla leyahlukene lokufaka ekhathi tekwakha.
Although the many chances are lacking or materials and chances might be slow, but everything is possible. If you change your mind and believe that God has strengthened you to change your life and change the society, you are able to change your life and change the whole world.
Sipho Ndlovu longumabhalane waleli bandla uthi labanye bantfu labasha sebavele baye even le Korea kuyawufunza ngetindlela tekutiphilisa.
Kule youth lesiba nayo ke le volunteer kuba benemusa ukuthi kulomnyaka lo bekucala ukuthi labasihlanu babo bakhona ukuthi baye eSouth Korea bayofundzela ka construction. Bantfu labasha bathi basitakele kakhulu ngaphansi kwaleli bandla.
Kuba ne-mind lecture lesita bantfu labasha kungcomvo ukuvuleni ingcomvo yakhe bamsite na spiritually.
Senginelithuba ke mina lelinye lokuthi manje ke ngingenele eBethel School. Kune Bethel School lana lefundzisa emakhono i-building and construction, i-electrical wiring kanye ne-welding.
Ibandla lithi litawuhambela tonke tifundza takuleli kufundzisa abantu labasha ngebumcoka bekuphikelela uma benta tintfo njengobe sebabonile kutsi basheshe baphelelwe ngemandla tintfo uma tingahambi ngendlela labayifisako. Etindzabeni teSwatini TV kubika Nelsiwe Ndlangamandla kaManzini.
Litiko letemisebenti lemikhulu nekutfutsa ngemnyakatimali wa 2024-2025 litawufaka litiyela emgwacweni losuka kumtsambama uye esiphambanweni losesifundzeni saseshiselweni kwakhiwe nemgwaco losuka ehlane uye kalomahasha. Lokhu kuvetwe ngunjinela lomkhulu wemigwaco kulelitiko Vincent Dlamini.
Imigwaco yinsika yentuthuko yelive njengoba ihlanganisa lelo live nalamanye emazwe kutekutsengiselana kulokunye. Litiko letemisebenti lemikhulu nekutfutsa lithi lisebentela ukuthi yonke imigwaco yelive ibe ngileyo lephephile futhi lesesimeni lesikahle kufaka ekhatsi naleyo lede litiyela. Injinela lomkhulu wemigwaco kulelitiko Vincent Dlamini uthi kulomnyakatimali wahulumende wa 2024-2025 lelitiko litawube lisebenta imigwaco lemikhulu lemibili yelive.
Sisebenza umsebenzi wokuthola i-consultant letasendele i-feasibility study ne-detailed design is updated actually ngoba ikhona lele khona umgwaco losuka esiphofaneni uye emaloma wengce emaloma uyoshaya esigwe uzofika esiphambanweni. Lokusho ukuthi ke lo mgwaco lo yosilungisela lokho ukuthi ugcine wakhiwe ufakwe sikhundiyela ube utokhona ngoba nyalo uyigravel so ke silungisa lokho ukuthi ugcine ufakwe sikhundiyela. Uhulumende ke uyakhulumisana nalabo labangasinika imali le ku-African Development Bank labathembisako lokuthi leyo mali leyo batayifaka. Lokunye ke lokuchubekako mhlambe sivele sitakubona indzaba yokuthi sesicedzela imidwebo yemgwaco losuka ehlane uye kalomahasha ngoba lo mgwaco lokhona nyalo lohamba lapha eKhathe Game Reserve ehlane sesitawuthola unjinja uhambe ngaphandle kwehlane kodwa uhambe ngathi ubheka eKM3 airport but bese soyakhaya ubheka ehla ushona kubongomane ufika eSimunye bese uyachubeka ubheka kalomahasha.
Dlamini uphinze uthi kuleminye imisebenzi lelitiko livala tigodi letisemgwacweni kuqinisekisa kuphepha kwayo imigwaco yelive kunciphe netingoti temgwaco kwesekela ligoli lelive lekunciphisa tingoti temgwaco ikakhulukati leto letigcine tihambe nemiphefumulo ngalokungemashumi ekhulwini kungakefiki umnyaka wa 2030. Etindzabeni teSwatini TV kubika Samkelsuwe khoza nasikhumbuzo Dlamini eMbabane.
Kutemidlalo likhetselo lesive lemantfombatane laneminyaka langephansi kwalengemashumi likhale phansi ngemagoli lasitfupha kulinye emlenteni wekucala wemidlalo ekuhlengela indzebe yemhlaba. Lo mdlalo udlalelwe enkhundleni yesive kaSomhlolo kaLobamba.
Ikhetselo lemantfombatane langephansi kweminyaka lengemashumi angeneleke imidlalo ekuhlungela indzebe yemhlaba lapho athole khona nelikhetselo leGhana. Lelikhetselo ke belibuke kuncoba lomdlalo kakhulukati ngoba belidlala ekhaya. Nokho yalihambeli kahle ke ngoba iGhana ikhombeke kuba nemandla sibili lapho khona iyekhefini ihamba embili ngemagoli 2 kulinye. Akabi ngcono ke nasesigamini sesibili lapho khona iGhana ichubekela igcine khona nayivalele amagoli 4 ngaphandle kwekuphendvula kweSwatini. Umdlalo wagcina upheleke ngemagoli 6 kulinye. Umcecesho likhethelo athwele Dludlu ubeke kanjena ngemva kwemidlalo ngasekakhulumisana nebetindzaba.
Luhlelo lwethu ukuthi 15 minutes yokucala usibethuse babone ukuthi nathi sikhona and ukusebenzela ngoba sikhona ukuthola igoli ku around first 5 minutes yokucala umdlalo usukile but ke inhlanhla lemi lasele yangena ba equalize so nxa umdlalo ahle ekuthenini sinento sakufihla ukuthi iGhana beyingaduli kwethu ngekudlala nako nekuthi ke thina ezomdlalo uchubeka sibese mhlambe sesiyathina nekuthi ke isikhathi esiningi vele besingakhona kwe-license nekuthi mhlambe vele technically badlali bethu abakhona ukukhahlela kahle ibhola so cha ukuthi kusebenze kakhulu lokho ukuthi bathole amandla ekukhahlela ibhola iwelisenda ngoba uyabona ukuthi nangabe siwele kanye isenta sathola free kick sashaya igoli kusho ukuthi besiwele ka5 mhlambe besamshaya 2 or 3 amagoli uyabona so ucanisa kakhulu Ukune safuna sikusebenza. Kwabona nje lokhahlela lebhola nje lifisela ukhunyana amantombazane baseSwatini.
Angekapteni nomfundo Bhembe uthi abakakwendi lobe bakulungiselele nabatilolonga.
Namuhla kusele kakhulu kule shifting yethu lebe sizama ukuyipractice itolo. Hayi sikayendi kahle besihle silahleka nawuthi shifting nabanye balela like bebangakaswitch on nje cishe ingqondo labanye bajani bethu.
Umlende wesibili udodlalelwa eGhana ngesomfo lelitako. Lobekela umsakazo weSwatini TV kutemidlalo ngiphathizwe Msibi. Kalobamba. Sele nje umzuzu kugabanca insimbi yesithupha sitahamba Shonatha Imandi sibahlole emakethe sibuye siqhubeke nehlelo.
The Central Bank of Eswatini Board of Directors, Management and Staff congratulate His Majesty King Mswati III for the successful conclusion of Sibaya and the appointment of His Excellency Mr. Russell Miso Dlamini as the Honorable Prime Minister of the Kingdom of Eswatini. May the God of all wisdom grant the Prime Minister all the strength and grace he needs to execute this assignment with excellence. Bayete wena waphakathi.
Haleluya, Thumusani Simakatse. Mthumuseni ngekushaya icilongo, nimthumise ngehabu nangedigitali. Mthumuseni ngetigubhu nangekugitsa. Nimthumise ngetinzambo nangelithusi. Jesus. Sengiso lesisikhathi, it's another season lapho khona sidumisa khona uNkulunkulu wemazulu. Hlanganyela nathi ekudumiseni uNkulunkulu lapho emakhwaya lasathuthukile nalawo lasafufuza aletha imvumiso uNkulunkulu wemabandla. Hlanganyela nathi njalo ngemasonto ekuseni naseyigabence insimbi yesiphohlongo ekuseni kuphindze kube umsombuluko naseyigabence insimbi yelishumi ekuseni. We praise. To God be the glory.
Let me tell you about my crush. Ngenzane inhliziyo yami embibwakho njengekudala.
Ngondlo yesiswati.
It is 3 in the afternoon. We are back in the living.
For men are so kind towards creation more than they even were to their own creator.
I am the greatest of this generation. They'll be calling me the girl who made poetry look cool, yo. Cool. Hello and welcome to Eswatini TV and to a brand new talk show called A Kappa with Nomgebo. And I do what I have to do because I know where I'm going. All 5 of my mothers have inspired me.
So the addiction didn't happen then. It happened again another 8 years later. But that's where it started.
Choices I made at the time were not the best choices for myself.
I understand how a person can lose their mind in terms of life experiences.
That's what it looks like, and I like that. But you know what? The journey to my success is never a straight line.
Yeah, people are on the net now, and that's where we'd like to catch them with such shows.
Welcome back. Sakuvuselana uLosanzago sivulela as mentioned earlier besisho ukuthi isidaba esikhulumisana na psychologist elosuka esibhedlela sahulumende kaManzini Psychiatric Hospital kaManzini sifuna ukukhulumisana nje naye ngekuthi umbona kanjani umuntu longathi uyahlubetana either emotionally noma physically. Sakumla ukuthi solo sibona imibiko solo iyaphuma kubetindzaba emaphephandzaba kanye nalapha eSwatini TV ukuthi sekudujulwe abantu futhi kubulewe abantu ngesiza isizathu sekuhlukubeteka ngetebulili sitibonile ke tinhlangano letiningi letifake ekhatsi iswaga kanye nemikhankaso i-1 billion rising so limemetela ukuthi uhulumende sale adeclare i-GBV njengesehlakalo sifuna ukukhulumisana naye ke Phephile Sukati loswa khona esibhedlela sahulumende ukuva nje ukuthi ngabe what are the early symptoms noma early signs emumfulo ngathi angakuhlukubeta kuleyo relationship asekuvusele Phephile. Thank you for joining us this morning. Indzaba lena vele lesolikhulunywa cishe kusukela nje from October and November ngalokho sisolo sibone imibiko nje yabantu labasishaka emhlabeni tandleni tebantu labathandzana nabo ingabe nje mhlawumbe ukubuta ukuthi umumvu lohlukubetanako either emotionally noma physically ingabe ngitiphi leto timpawu langambona ngato nje likhona invele leto timpawu.
Okay, thank you very much Lulu. Thank you for having me. Ukuthi sikhona ukuthi sikhulumisane ngalendzaba le GBV especially nje basoshido nje ukuthi siyesibonile we've seen as an increase in numbers bantu lapho bahlukubatana khona lapho bagcina kusilabanye sebagcina basishile emhlabeni. So coming back to the question ukuthi what are the early symptoms or what are the early signs lesingabona ngakhona ukuthi umuntu this is an abusive person yabo tinfolet kanjalo. So sithi at the start because usually kule lemvo abuse yendeka kuma relationships. So at the beginning of the relationship vele kude lokunganani ukuthi you can identify ukuthi lo muntu use abusive per se, but as isikhathi siqhubeka that's when you start to see the signs. So timpawu leti vame kuhamba embili or something that we get to hear from my patients naseswa treater from because of the way I is in an abusive relationship. So impawu yeqala will say ukuthi lo muntu uba very controlling. Nasiso uba very controlling like ufuna kwati onke whereabouts akho ukuthi ukuphi wendani unabani and uba nalemfo lesitwesi sithi uba ne possessive behavior. By possessive behavior was saying ukuthi ufuna ukupossessa akafuni ukuthi labanye bantu babe dvudane nawe abafuni ukuthi labanye bantu nje babe very close to you. So uyakucontrola and if ungenti lento la ayifunako he or she becomes very angry. Lenye liphawu lelikhona sisi lo muntu becomes very jealous. We know ukuthi i-jealous is something lekhona there is normal jealous but lo muntu bese soba le jealous yakhe iba kuma excess. So ukhanda ukuthi so yaku accuse ngokuthi you are being unfaithful. So uqala noku-isolate from other families and or from your friends yabo so ufuna ukuthi uhlale unaye ngaso sonke isikhathi. Those are the major symptoms or signs lo abona ukuthi this person might be abusive somehow.
All right. Ngifuna singene nje Phephile manje on the different types of abuse. Kukhona labo labathi abuse nje bakuhlubede ngemagama akhuluma amagama lakabi kuwe athi maye nawo mubi unemachichi noma unanani ngabe vele mhlawumbe ngimaphi lamanye mhlawumbe ngidiphi letinye tindlela umumvu la ngakuhlubeta ngato ngaphambi kokuthi besides lokuthi akushaye noma akwende letinye timvu.
Oh, okay. Manengana ema types of or tinhlobo te abuse but letimqoka kakhulu letivame ukukhanza ukuthi tihamba embili ting5. Kunale ekushaya lo khulume ngayo the physical abuse. Bese sokuba khona le abuse lesisize the sexual abuse lapho sibona khona ukuthi lo muntu bamhlukubete ngetindlela tecansi. Bese sokuba khona the emotional abuse. Emotional abuse is one of the most dangerous abuse because le emotional abuse ngilapho lo muntu akuhlukubeta khona ngemagama. So ku physical abuse ukhanda ukuthi lo muntu bese soyabonakala uyatitshengisa timpawu lokuthi this person is being physically abused because ukhanda ukuthi soba nema bruises soba kanjani. But with the emotional abuse what wena the victim, the one who's being abused, because magama lafike ahlale kuwe. So basically we're saying ukuthi the lama symptoms have one with the victim and like kuba timfo leti internal. And then lenye type of abuse le common ngilesi say financial abuse ngilapho sisi lo muntu ukuhlukubeta ngetetimali. So by financial abuse we're saying ukuthi this person gets to a point ukuthi uyakucontrola about finances akho. Ukwendela decisions ngema finances akho bese sekuba khona na-abuse lenye lekhona which is also becoming very common, which you are saying is the online as an online abuse. Online abuse ngilapho khona abantu khona ukuthi baku-abuser in the social networks, like baku-abuser like in lawo ma-platforms lawo basho amagama lathide to you or bayaku-intimidate somehow. So those are the main as in types ezinto ihlobo te-abuse lelikhona.
Okay, kukubuda nje Phephile ukuthi after so realizeile ukuthi nama after ubone letinsolo kungathi lo mvulelo othandzana naye uya abuse, and I think uvedile nje timpawu ukuthi labanye baba possessive bafuna kwade ama whereabouts akhona sokubonile tonke ke letimpawu leto so uphuma kanjani ke? I will assume ukuthi nibe nawo nje mhlambe ama patients lasavelako kini asho ukuthi yadingiswa ukuthi lo mvulona uya abusana, but sengifuna kuphuma yini lena lekumele ukuthi uyende uthi convince kanjani wena ukuthi hayi angiphume kusesengimanje ngisesengake le mali?
Oh, okay. Thank you very much for that question. Yes, we usually say when we get to my patients, they come to us kind of ukuthi bafuna lusito lekuthi maybe baphuma kanjani into a good relationship lapho kune abuse khona. And what we usually say to patients ukuthi i-decision yakhiwa nguwe per se, so ngeke sakwakhela i-decision. And we say ukuthi no matter how many times you have been abused, yabo, you can always come out, because you need to put yourself first. Utati ukuthi ungubani, utibeke embili. And you need to also create a safety plan while you in the process of getting out kule abuse. I-safety planning lapho sikhuluma khona ukuthi ubuka tindlela ukuthi okay, nasangiphuma lapha, where do I go? Indzawo la ngitoba safe khona, and uzame kunokuthi bese sowakha nema safety networks. Bantu labatokhona kukusupporta kulesikhathi lapho uphuma khona kule relationship. Ngisengovetile lo ukuthi like you need to put yourself first. Kuko konke sekwendekile everything, like we are not saying ukuthi impilo ayaqhubeka, you just need to put yourself first and also work towards being independent, because we have seen in my cases lapho ukuthi people are staying in abusive relationships because there are things that are independent, that are dependent on the person lapho lo muntu or abuser khona. So ukuthi you need to start creating a plan ukuthi how do you become independent, ukhona ukuthi mela kanjani so that impilo itoqhubeka eyembili.
Usachaza lokho nje Phephile, labanye bayahlala noma sebatibonile leti mpawu. I think it's because of some pressures in life, lokho ukuthi yathi sengimdzala abangani bami nabo banabo partner, but bayachubeka bahlale bamelane nalokuhlukubeteka kwabo partner babo. Ingabe what goes on in their heads nje lokuthi ngiyabona ngiyashaywa mhlambe noma ngikhulunyiswa kabi, but sola ngiyachubeka ngiyahlala. Ingabe kusuke kunjani ke kuloyo muntu loyo, usitakala kanjani? What would your advice be to that person?
Oh, okay. Yes, you get people ukuthi bayahlala vele kuma relationship lapho where they're being abused. We're saying ukuthi loving someone who hurts you may leave you feeling confused. Lokuthi uba confused ukuthi what next. Remember ukuthi you are into this relationship because there's a connection lekhona. So basically kunethando lelikhona. So naseqala tenteka letimfo leti abusive like bese so it leaves you being confused. So ukhona timfo letivelayo ukuthi maybe this person may stay in the relationship because is afraid of being alone. So ngiletinye timfo lesithi leto you can labantu labo khona ukuthi they're afraid of being alone because there's something that had happened in their lives before. So bona beva ngathi like they need to be always in a relationship. Ngilapho ukuthi siveta khona tindzaba psychologically sibuyela back in my theories. Theory abo attachment ukuthi how was your attachment as ukhula, like ukhuliseka kanjani imvo leti kanjani. So labanye bahlala into my relationships because they're afraid of a revenge. Baba nako lokuthi if they get out of this relationship, what if this person comes after me, then bese sogcina uyangilimata ngena zithide. Lelinye ezinokunye lokuvelako through patients that you get to see, they stay in my relationship because of financial gains. Something like ngakuveta phambilini ukuthi they are not as independent, they are dependent on the other person. So bahlala kule relationship because basinababuka ukuthi if ngisuka kule relationship like ngidobe sesengikhona ukuphilisa kanjani because this person is supporting me financially and otherwise. So lokunye kuba khona le issue yokuthi kube sebasi bahlalela abantwana. Reason being ukuthi if you explore more on that kulama patients, you find ukuthi basibahlelela abantwana because bona as they grow nabasakhula, they never go to as in grow up in a family setting where the batali bakhona bonke. So nase bangena into a relationship sebaba nebantwana beva ngathi like bafisa ukuthi bantwana babo bakhule with both parents. So bese bayahlela because bahlala abantwana bafuna labantwana bakhule with both parents. The other reason that you find those people they stay in my abusive relationship is because of my religious beliefs or cultural beliefs. So in religious beliefs, they would say like if you, I'll make an example, go say na so shadile, like you cannot divorce. Go say like na so shadile ushadile ngeke divorce. Or cultural beliefs, something that we grew up. So all those beliefs they contribute somehow in an abusive relationship.
I think the biggest question why do abusers abuse their partners? Is it because of a trauma that they experienced during their childhood? I think my patients my cases lamanele ngibonile ingabe nansanda nje umsebenzweni nibona ukuthi vele lo muntu uba ngumhlukubedi ufika kanjani lapha kuba ngumhlukubedi.
Oh, okay. So Nama abusers, when we analyze it psychologically, we say the I3 theories that explains its behavior. Why do people abuse other people? So is a social learning theory. This person we say is a learned behavior. Now, learned behavior, we are saying this person uyifunzile learn for somehow. Noma ukhule ekhaya lapho abuse was happening and nakakhula ubona ukuthi vele this abuse is something vele info le normal per se, or maybe we'll say ukuthi lo muntu is a learned behavior because like ukufunza kubangani bakhe ngiyela thithi ukufunza there's a culture somehow ukuthi vele in this culture like abuse is something normal. So ngileyo theory ekuqala. Lokunye lesikubukisako ukuthi like what can be the cause ukuthi why abantu ba abuse my partners. Labanye we associate it to a mental problem. Lapho sithi lo muntu can be having like a mental problem per se. Njengoba mental problems are diverse. Nasikhuluma mental problems sikhuluma from depression, sikhuluma to very severe. So you find ukuthi lo muntu une some certain personality disorder because there are also personality disorders. There's a certain personality disorder where it's also associated to my abusers. Ngilapho sithi lo muntu une antisocial personality disorder. Bantu labane antisocial personality disorder, these are the people who gain pleasure in inflicting pain on other people. So bona beva bajabulile nababona lo munye umuntu evabuhlungu. So lokunye what might be the cause of abuse because abantu abuse abantu the past trauma, how you grew up. So if now as you grew up you are abused somehow, then you find ukuthi as ukhula uva ngathi this is something normal because the trauma lonayo bese so uyiqhubekisela kulabanye abantu. Lapho sisi khona lo muntu you'll find ukuthi une unresolved trauma per se. Lokunye lokukhenza ukuthi bese sokukwenta ukuthi abantu ba abuse ngile issue of drugs, of substances. Kusi this person is taking drugs or substances, and by them taking drugs or substances, we say kusi logo it impair judgment yemuntu. So naku impair when it impairs judgment yemuntu ufanda kusi lo muntu sotokwenda tinfo lokhenza kusi ngakusasa nasasopa bese soyadisola ezingale tinfo latendile. So netimbo tabo ezinkuvetile timbo tabo ma trauma kusi you will find kusi this person has got a lot of anger because of the trauma like experience in his or her childhood per se.
Ngalokho nje nje phephile ukuthi vele labanye vele bayahlala kulama relationships but thine as ama loved ones alo emuva loyo ingabe sibona kanjani ukuthi senekwenteka uyahlukubeteka phindze futhi simthita kanjani yini le singayenda nje sibone ukuthi nasihlobo sami ngathi siyahlukubeteka la sikhona khona.
Oh, okay. So kukhona sihlobo as ukhula like uyambona lo muntu, you know this person very well. So but nasoqala umbona ukuthi kuneshintsho lethide lelisetnekile, you'll find ukuthi lo muntu soqale ukuthi distance ngela thide from wena, and lo muntu noma soba very anxious, or maybe nani kanye nakancane sophethe ecingo sofuna report out to the partner ukuthi ukuphi wendani kweni kanjani yabo. So soba very reserved. Ngileto timpawu lesibona ukuthi there might be some sort of abuse lekhona kule relationship leyo. And kuthi umsita kanjani, we say ukuthi indzaba ye abuse, as I said before earlier on, ukuthi this person kudzinga ukuthi kube nguye lofika esigabeni selapho abona khona ukuthi sangaphuma kule relationship. As much as wena ungazama kum-advise ukuthi this is not a healthy relationship for you, kungakasuki la kuye, you'll find ukuthi akaphumi per se. So what you need to do when as a relative kudzinga ukuthi uqhubeke umsupporte lo muntu ngaso sonke isikhathi. So if endekile ke waconfide kuwe, washo ukuthi maybe like we undergo a certain abuse, the best thing that you can do ukuthi like umyise lapho angakhona ukuthola khona isito, but le support kuko konke, like the support being there for the person, like support kuto tonke timvo ladidzingayo, that's the best thing that you can do for the person up until kuze kusufike la kuye ukuthi like sangaphuma with that relationship.
So have you actually had cases of abusers, seeking and receiving help? Lenibe nawo nje lapho esibhedlela kaManzini.
Okay, this one is a bit tricky per se. From my experience of working as a clinical psychologist, like I don't remember getting an abuser coming in straight. Kunguye losukako kuse utofuna sito. What usually happens, kuze ukhanza ukuthi abuser seyingena ukuthi sesiyakhona kuyisita, ukhanza ukuthi kufika the victim, especially in cases where these people are married. Kufika the victim ayisho ukuthi ku-undergo timvo leti kanjena and say. And in other cases you find ukuthi we then invite the partner ukuthi can you also come with your partner if the partner is willing ukuthi etesibhedlela. That's when we get to see like the abuser per se. But kuthi kusuke yena atisukele afune sito, it's something that lokungakavami per se. Even noma sekwendekile ke wagcina safikile into therapy through the victim, through the partner per se. In most cases you find ukuthi these people, they don't get into ukuthi baqhubeke with the therapy because kusuke kungakasuki kuye lokuthi bafuna sito per se. So answering your question, I would say ukuthi we do get to see them, but through the person, through the partner. But nakhona you find ukuthi better for one as in consultation, 1 or 2 consultation, then they don't come back again.
Okay. Kwagcina nje phephile sifuna kuva nje ukuthi ingabe tinombolo tebamfunjwe labashile emhlabeni ngakokuhlukubeteka sedikhomba ukuthi bangakhi, and also lokuva nje mhlambe amagama ekugcina nje ekwexwayisa umuntu lo tikhanza sekase ku relationship lapho ahlukubeta khona ingabe ungathini kuye.
Oh, okay. When coming to my statistics, bantu labahlubekile, I think it's an area of research that we need to do in the country, because lokwendakalako like kulama suicides that are being recorded, like per se, like kuba bete the statistics that I've seen, kuba bete loku differentiate ukuthi what was the cause kusikwendakaleni ukuthi lo muntu agcine afike esigabeni sokuthi agcine atibulele. So as I'm saying, we don't have the exact statistics per se. This is statistics of suicide. Lo muntu ugcine atibulele because of GBV per se. So this is an area of research that we still need to do, like as a country. Sengcina ke ukuthi emagama ukuthi ngingathini kumuntu lo khanza ukuthi relationship le lapho ahlukubeteka khona. So good that thing we usually say ukuthi you need to know yourself and you need to put yourself first. Abuse or violence is a cycle. So you just need to understand ukuthi this is a cycle. And once you understand ukuthi this is a cycle, utosnasobona ukuthi like this thing is not working for you, the relationship, uvele uphume. Nangikhuluma ukuthi is a cycle, I mean ukuthi uqala ngeko stage ukuthi lo muntu uto abuse abuye axolise ove ngathi everything is okay. but ngekuhamba kwesikhathi kuphinde kubuyele back to square one because once i-abuse iyaqala, chances of it stopping mancane kakhulu. So if uthi khanza soku-abusive relationship, like the best thing to do ukuthi uzama ukuqhela ukukhwesha ku that relationship, ungenothi khanza sofike esigabeni lapho maybe sekwenteke izinto letinkulu njengale cases that we are seeing kulamalanga ukuthi bagcinele sebabulelene noma lo munye sobulele lo munye. So the best thing is just to put yourself first, uzame ukuphuma le relationship, uzame ukuthola isito ezophumile le relationship so that you can as in heal from the trauma lobobhekene nawo ukhona ukuqhubeka nempilo.
All right, sinosibonga kakhulu ke vakala Phephile, that was clinical psychologist Phephile Eswatini. Asiniketa nje timphawu tekubona umuntu lo ngathi uyahlukubetana either physically or emotionally. Yavedekene ukuthi kubalekile ukuthi mangabe sotibonile leto timphawu uzame ukuthola lusito. Asibahlete manje sesibhene traffic update.
Lesi sikhathi lapho khona emaphoyisa agubha kuba khona kwawo even. Kulapho kukuthathwa khona sive ukuthi sike sihlale phansi sibuke bomcoka bemaphoyisa empilweni yabantu. Siphindze sibuke indlela letinsha tekuphepha kubo bonke bucala lobuveta sihloko. Sive sakangwane siyakhunjutwa ukuthi singawafaki emaphoyisa etinkulumeni tepolitiki ngoba liphoyisa alingeni futhi alingenelani nepolitiki. Emaphoyisa alwa nebucala netingoti temgwaco kuphela nje. Ingako emaphoyisa athi wonke umuntu even akahlale ngaphandle kwekunceneka ukuthi angahle ahlaselwe tilwane tasendle. Umuntu lohlala eSwatini akatiphilele atisebentele ngaphandle kwekwesaba kuhlaselwa kwemucwa nekucekelwa phansi kwempahla yakhe. Nawe wena lophathekile emaphoyisa athi digulele kahle uze uphile ngaphandle kwekuphatamiseka. Lokungenteka ngekuthi tidlova tingene tihlasele labo labakunakekelako kuleyo ndlu. Sivele sihlakaniphile nguleso lesiphakamisa kusebenta kwemaphoyisa nabo bonke labalwa nebucala. Ngale kwaloko timbungushe tiyawuwangenela emazinyane kungenamuntu ekhaya. Nomlayeto niulethelwa ngemaphoyisa embube abambisene nomsakato wetithombe.
Asimize sinimukele at 4 minutes before 7 o'clock. Lesikhathi isitawubuka semo somgwaco lomhla ekseni na Assistant Inspector Bekumuzi Igula. Sikuvusele makwabane khambeka kanjani lomhla ekseni?
Anguvusele Thombeni ekseni nalokukhethekile sivusele umbukelo waloluhlelo. Sivuka namuhla imigwaco yethu leminingi imandi kulandzela nango umkhamedelo lochubekako. Cishe live lonke uhambisana ke nayo inkungu lekhansa phansi kugcizelela nje kakhulu kubashayeli bekunene ukuthi asichubeke sende njalo siwakhanyise emalambu emotolo wende isiqiniseko sokuthi uyawugcina umgamo wokulandzela lemotolo kuba ngiloyo lokuphephile kwendela ukuthi ke nakube kuvela simo bongakasilindele ukhona ke kulawula leyo motolo yakho bekunene siyacela ukuthi litubane alibe ngelo leliphansi sibili uyawukhona kulawula imotolo yakho ikakhulu kade njengoba lesimo ikhomba ukuthi umgwaqo uyashelela ngako kuyashayela ngalokukhulu ukucophelela kusiwo ke noko umgwaqo lonelitiyela kuphela nayo imigwaqo ledelitiyela nayo simo sayo asisiso lesikahle kulandzela imvula lesolo tichubeke njalo bekunene sithi nje awu bekunene asinakeni sicaphelisise njengoba kungisekuseni wonke ajakile asende isiqiniseko sokuthi ke sihamba ngelitubane lelilingene litubane leliyawukwenda kokuthi ufike lapho ufise kuyawufika khona siphile netimotolo selesiqiniseko ukuthi sinelesilayisha sive ukuthi silayisha ngelinani eliyawuba ngilelifanele edolopheni elikhulu embabane selotibane tethu lethi lapha esibhedlela sisebenzi kanjalo ke nemgwaqo wethu lapha eCentral solo ke iyakhiwa leyo mgwaqo leyo nalapha ke cooling station bekunene solo ke sinqola timile njengoba ke letinkulu kwatise ukuthi ke siyawuthi sithole imilayezo noma ke bakhulunyiswe abashayeli lapha kuleya cooling station bangakehli isihamba yakumalagwane sicezelela ke ukuthi ke njengoba kunenkungu asicaphelisise kuthine lesihamba ngesimoto lesincane ulehlise litubane lakho wende isiqiniseko sokuthi ugcina sekudla njengoba timpawu siphawula ikakhulukazi usasonzela khona lapha kuyeleya cooling station kumatsapa khona siyasebenza tibane temgwaqo kanjalo nalapha edolobheni elikhulu lakamanzini noko-ke nawuthatha umgwaqo lo MR18 ngumgwaqo-ke lona losuka lapha bomahlanya noma-ke losuka khona lapha eMalken ubheke khona lapha koBhunya kunetinzawana lapho ulungiswa khona lo mgwaqo kwatise ukuthi songasahambeki kunema-potholes lamabi kakhulu bekunene siyakhuthaza lokho ukuthi asicaphelisise ikakhulukazi labo labasilawulako ngemigwaqo lesingayisebenzisa lephephile noma ngendlela lesingendlula ngayo ngaloku phephile basasilungisela wona-ke umgwaqo kunetiganyana lapho sihlethi imotolo singakhoni ukuphambana khona kulandzela ukuthi-ke kuyasetshenzwa kuleya nzawana leya bese bekuthi lapha indasi ugege na uyakhona lapha kusicunuza nakhona umgwaqo uyakhiwa lapho uze uyofika lapha indasi ugege bekunene nakhona asibahloniphe labo labasebenzayo emgwaqweni ishiselo khona inhlangano sebenza kahle tibane tefu nemigwaqo lesolo ilungiswa inhlangano solo kuyakhiwa sibili-ke siyawusebenzisa leyo migwaqo lezivulelwe yona-ke kwesikhashana ngekulandzela tona timpawu temgwaqo letingitona sibekele zona nema-potholes-ke njengoba timvula tichubeke kanjena solo-ke akhona emigwaqweni yelive ngobuningi bato ngento engabala ngayinye kepha-ke bashayeli bayakhuthathwa kokuthi liso alibe ngelikhaliphile uqenza yona indlela sithathe isinqumo letiyawuba ngileto lesifanele nalesiphile kungaba ngiloko nje ekuseni sithi awu bekunene la ukhona khona yena isiqiniseko sokuthi sephepha ukibeka embili sikhumbule kulandzela imithetho yemigwaqo timpawu temgwaqo kanye-ke nayo imihlelo yaphansi kuphepha kwakho kuphepha kwami nasikanye kanye sibambisene sitawukhona kunciphisa tona tingozi zemgwaqo siyabonga kakhulu Sombele.
Sibonga kakhulu Kule kusiniketelo yombiko lomhla ekuseni imbukeli asithatha likhefu sibene tindzaba Eswatini.
We at Eswatini Television Authority are committed to observing the Eswatini Communication Commission's Broadcasting Code of Conduct.
Under the code, we are committed to broadcast news that is current, free from hate speech, accurate, balanced, and fair.
From politics to business, health, agriculture, courts, and global news, we bring you the latest updates as they happen, when they happen.
We cover all the sporting codes from the football pitch to the chessboards.
This is Eswatini TV News.
Asimenza sinimukele nathi itindzaba. Livese libe nemicimbi yokukhumbula emasotsha lawa etimphinta emhlaba letimbili. Lo mcimbi bewubanjelwe endlunkulu yembutho ebetekuvikela inokwane kanti isilo semhlaba besimelelwe nguMoses Mathendele Dlamini.
Live leSwatini lihlanganyele nemhlaba wonke ekukhumbuleni lamaqhawe elatidzela kuletimbi temhlaba letimbili nasekuhlonipheni lawo masotsha lasaphila lalwa kito letimpi. Umcimbi wokukhumbula emasotsha lalwa etimpini temhlaba letimbili bewubanjelwe endlunkulu yembutho ebetekuvikela enokwane. Silo semhlaba besimelelwe nguMoses Mathendele Dlamini kanti lo mcimbi bewungenelwe nangidvunankulu welive Mmiso Russell Dlamini, mengameli wendlu yetimphunga Lindiwe Dlamini nalabanxusele emave abo kuleli. Umcimbi uhambisane nekuthi kuthathwe imizuzu lemibili kukhunjulwa lamaqhawe. Kubekeke netimbali tesikhumbuto kukhumbula wona emasotsha latidzela kanti locale kubeka timbali bengilobekamelele silo semhlaba. Ulandzele lababeke timbali ekumelela emasotsha lalwa empini yemshadza kanye-ke nemsizi. Ubese-ke sekulandzela ndvunankulu welive Mmiso Russell Dlamini. abanye labalandzeleki bengumabhalane lomkhulu ehhovisi leliphini landvunankhulu Melusi Masuku nababuke imibutho yakuleli nabolisiba likhulu labanxusele emave lahlukahlukene kuleli nalabanye. Kulo mcimbi kuvele ukuthi selinye lisotsha lelisele kulawo masotsha akuleli lalwa kuletimpi kanti ngenxa yokuhamba kweminyaka nake ngidengandenga kwesimo sempilo alikakhona ukuba ingcenye yawo umcimbi. Beka ngisandile emakhaya eNokwane.
Umngane wamakhosi indvuna lisemvofa ukuthi ezeyikhuthathe sive ukuthi sigucule ingcomvo kabusha sende intsambo yaNkulunkulu ukuthi live liphile likhone ukubhekana netimo letahlukene. Even abekhuluma ngesikhathi sive nabazalwane bamphakathi wasenkhanini babambe inkonzo yemthandazo yekwephetha umnyaka.
Sive nabazalwane bemabandla lehlukene benkolo yobuKristu bahlanganyele nebamfula abadzala bemphakathi wasenkhanini kaLobamba enkonzweni yokwephetha umnyaka. Leli bandla liphakamise idandla dalibhekisa kulomdzala wetinsuku bathandazela simo lesibonakala sanza eveni sekuhlukubetana ngentebulili nekubulawa kwabomake.
Siyakholisa baba wethu lomngane phambi kwesihlalo sakho sebukhosi sakho siyabonga uNkulunkulu omuhle ukuthi wena Nkosi uyeva imikhuleko yethu ngokuthathelela baba kusesandleni sakho sekunene baba siyakhulela Nkosi.
Umngane wemakhosi indvuna lisemvofa kutse uhlephule emamvi kuba seRoma 12 livesi lekucala lelikhutsata libandla ukuthi litigucule ingcomvo kabusha lente intsamvo yaNkulunkulu libandla futhi likwati lokuhle.
Ngiyanincenga ngithi nikelani imtimba yenu ibe ngumnikelo lophilako nalongcwele nalwemukeleka kuNkulunkulu. Leyo ke ngiyona nkonzo yethu sibili.
Bafundisi bondlele libandla ngemavi lahlukene bakhutsata kucolelana kuthula nekubambana baphinze bathandazela nekuthi sonzeta kuNkulunkulu kubantfu labasha kude live laseSwatini liphile. Etindzabeni yeSwatini TV kubika Samuel Suekhoza nginasikhumbuzo Dlamini enkanini.
Umphathi wesifundza saselobonjeni Themba Msibi ukhutsata abalimi ukuthi isale bangena emasimini. Msibi uthi tindzawo letinyenti kulesifundza tibonakala tisengakawalimi emasimi lokuyintfo lekhatsatawo njengoba sikhatsi sekuthi emaswati alime sesifikile.
Sine lesingakhutsata balimi ukuthi lesi sikhathi sekulima lesi abaye emasimini njengoba linile nje ababaye bekunene bangamiswa ukuthi kuthiwa kutabana El Nino mhlawumbe yawufika El Nino sebewele. Sine nje sisaba abangena emasimini basebente balimi. Awu sifundza selibombo yebo kona kuleti ndzawo letikhona ukuthi kuthole emanti ekunisela kuyalunga lombila uyalunga nemabhontshisi bakhona ukuthi bathola. Kepha kuleti ndzawo lokhanza ukuthi vele kude nalamanti ekunisela vele labanengi baphephela lekubokotini baphephele kuletinye tilimo ngaphandle kwaleti affectwa kushisa kwelanga.
Sive sasenyakeni sibe nenkonzo yokuphela kweminyaka lapho bekubongwa simakathe ngeminyaka losetulu nekuchubeka kucela tibusiso kuye lomdzala wetinsuku. Nomthandazo bobanjele emphakatsini wakhona enyakeni ngelisonto.
Sive sasenyakeni siphelele emphakatsini ngaphansi komthandankosi Jokovu wesibili enkonzweni yekuphela kweminyaka kuyokhonda lomdzala wetinsuku bekuphumela umdzala nensha kulomthandazo. Induna Bhekithemba Makakula ithi imimango ayimatise uNkulunkulu njalo njalo.
Kumcoka kakhulu wena wekunene kakhulu ngoma Nkosi sikufunza khona kulomudze lokhona welive kuthi Nkosi kude tindolo tawutenda ngaphandle komthandazo njoba nje itolo besithandaza nalo kuthandaza nale live kulibuyisa isimemo.
Liphoyisa lemgwaqo umalungisa amavuso lifundzisa kabanti ngekuphepha emgwaqweni njengoba nawo amaphoyisa beka ingcenye yalomthandazo.
Siyanicela sive sakethu nabakithi bantu basenyakeni siyanicela kakhulu ukuthi tigcineni niphephile emgwaqweni nisashayela uqala la kuqaleni nje imoto yakho isasuka ekhaya bathi pre-trip inspection laba kwathi ukulungisa kahle ulwimi lwesingisi na usasuka la ekhaya uhamba ngale moto utawuchecka ukuthi iyakhanyisa yini ngoba kunokende kubuye sekumnyama iya indicator yini inawo yini emabreki akade nenbreki kade uqala lapho.
Lo mthandazo njengalona-ke buphinze ube kucela umnyaka lomusha lomuhle logcwele netibusiso kuthandazelwe-ke nekuphepha nekuthula eveni laseSwatini. Etindzabeni ngimgiyani Msibi ngisenyakeni.
Kuqinisa tinhlelo tekulima kanye nekubhadala abantu labathengisele uhulumende impahla ngesikhathi kongilokunye lokutawusita ukuthi umnotfo uthuthuke kuleli ngekusho kwasomnotfo Thembinkosi Dube kuvetelo ngesikhathi yachaza ukuthi yini uhulumende longenako langayenda ukuthi umnotfo elive ukhone kuthuthuka.
Nanoma ilibhangele elikhulu i-Central Bank lithi umnotfo wakuleli utawukhula ute ufike ku-4.9% kusuka eminyakeni lotako, kepha somnotfo Thembinkosi Dube uthi uhulumende longenako usenensayeya yekuthi umnotfo ukhule kakhulu kunaloko.
Ufuna indzaba ye-agriculture ibe ngelenakeke kakho. Nasikhuluma ngendzaba ye-agriculture sikhuluma ngokuthi bani lobasha bakhona kusitakala ukuthi babe ngilaba banzakenye nako ukuthi balime. I-advantage yekulima ngokuthi itasisita usisilive sikhona kuba ukuthi khicitela kudla ukhanze ukuthi ama-prices ekudla aba kuleli zinga lethu. So lama commodities la khonakala ukuthi singawakhicita thina singamaswati ungakhanza ukuthi intengo yawo iyabuya phansi ke le inflation ayisabi ngalendlela lelo mangayo. Lenye indzaba lengicabanga ukuthi idzinga ukuthi bayi-address very very soon indzaba yahulumende kubhadala asebenzisana nabo ema-suppliers. Umnotfo ndawusebenzisa igama lesingisi ulubricate-wa ukuthi imali i-circulate. Now nangabe kutawuba khona ukuthi labanye bayasebenza ukhanze ukuthi kumbe sekuba ne-delay le kulokubhadala kwenda ukuthi lo mnotfo ungasaguquki ngalendlela fanele uguquke ngayo. So nangabe uhulumende bekangakhona ukuthi akwende kube ngumkhuba wakhe lokuthi kungabi ne-time lag lenze kubhadala ema-suppliers.
Mengameli wenhlangano yabosomabhizinisi bemdzabu kaHoho Johannes Manikela lesikhulumisene naye ngelucingo uthi umnotfo wakuleli utawukhula uma uhulumende angachubeka isekele bosomabhizinisi ngetimali kute itawuba yiningi imali lesebenziswako lapha eveni. Etindzabeni teSwatini TV kubika Nelsiwe Ndlangamandla yembabane.
Sikhwama sakanhlanyelo fund solo sivule tandla ekuteni bafuyi nabalimi kude kukhule emabhizinisi abo. Emalunga lesikhwama avakashele umphakathi wasenyakeni ngelisonto kuyofundisa kabanti ngekusebenta kwalesikhwama nekuyohlola incubekela phambili kulabasebazuzile kuso.
Injongo yesikhwama sakanhlanyelo fund kusita ngetimali labo lebasemabhizinisini lamancane lasachathuta lebabolekwa timali tekuchuba emabhizinisi abo. Mhlaba uhlangene Dlamini lofundzisa ngalesikhwama uthi bebasenyakeni lapho bebayawufundisa khona kanti-ke sive sesenyakeni lesayithola le mali sisayibuyisa kahle impela kwamanje.
Lesikhwama lesi inyakeni yena benefita kakhulu vela ngoba nebantu abaningi kakhulu sizosakhona. Soba siyela ukuthi awu akubanjiswane kusetshenzwe sofaka labanye bantu. Bandla ke belisisekelelo ukuthi sivule lesikhwama sokuthi emaswati asitakane la angathola umsebenzi nalabo abangakhona ukuphila bakhona kwema project sobika lokho sokuthi cha sibambisene ngalolu bandla lapho simele sihlangana nje nelibandla sibuka iway forward ukuthi labanye labatawungena ngibathi ngoba lo mnyaka lokuphelile sibafakile bangena nje impela I think beba close to more than 100. Hayi kahle kakhulu response yabo hamba kahle kakhulu nyalo nje sithatha phansi sifuna kade sibe lokuthi sekubambe kuba I think kuselela abancane nje sesibanikeza I think bayi 8.
Dlamini uthi sive-ke lesingakazuzi kulesikhwama asingesabi ukuxhumana nabo sifundiswe kabanti ngekuthola imali kulesikhwama njengoba lesikhwama side imicabo netincabekelwano letinenge kodwa-ke sihlose kusita loyo muntu losebhizinisini noma labo bantu kodwa-ke ukuthi bakhule nakusasa. Etindzabeni ngimgiyani Msibi ngisenyakeni.
Libandla le-Good News kaManzini likhuthaza abantu labasha ukuthi babhalise ngaphansi kwehlelo loluhlose ukuthuthukisa indlela labacabanga ngayo i-Mindset Change Program ngaphansi kweluhlelo lwe-International Youth Fellowship. Akhuluma ngesikhathi kugujwa ilanga lamavolontiya kuleli bandla, Mabhalane Sipho Ndlovu uthi babone ukuthi nabo badlale inzima yabo kwesekela abantu labasha njengoba sekude kahle emathuba emisebenzi.
Pastor David uthi betama kuvula tingqondo tebantfu labasha kude bangalilahli lithemba futhi batethembe. Uthi bayabacecesha nekuthi noma ingabe baqala emabhizinisi bangapheli emandla uma angaphumeleli, kepha babuke lenye indlela yekwakha imali. Uchubeka uthi babese bayabathatha labantfu labasha babacecesha emisebentini yetandla leyahlukene lokufaka ekhatsi tekwakha.
Although the many chances are lacking, or materials and chances might be slow, but everything is possible. If you change your mind and believe that God has strengthened you to change your life and change the society, you are able to change your life and change the whole world.
Sipho Ndlovu longumabhalane waleli bandla uthi labanye bantfu labasha sebavele baye even le-Korea kuyawufunza ngetindlela tekutiphilisa.
Kule youth lesiba nayo ke le i-volunteer kuba benemusa ukuthi kulomnyaka lo bekucala ukuthi labasihlanu babo bakhona ukuthi baye eSouth Korea bayofundzela ka construction.
Bantfu labasha bathi basitakele kakhulu ngaphansi kwaleli bandla.
Kuba ne-mind lecture le sita bantfu labasha kungcomvo ukuvuleni ingcomvo yakhe bamsite na spiritually.
Senginelithuba ke mina lelinye lokuthi manje ke ngingenele eBethel School. Kune Bethel School lana lefundzisa emakhono, i-building and construction, i-electrical wiring kanye ne-welding.
Ibandla lithi litawuhambela tonke tifundza takuleli kufundzisa bantfu labasha ngebumcoka bekuphikelela uma benda tintfo njengobe sebabonile ukuthi basheshe baphelelwe ngemandla tintfo uma tingahambi ngendlela labayifisako. Etindzabeni teSwatini TV kubika Nelsiwe Ndlangamandla kaManzini.
Litiko letemisebenti lemikhulu nekutfutsa ngeminyaka timali wa 2024-2025 litawufaka litiyela emgwacweni losuka kumthambama obuye esiphambanweni losesifundzeni sasashiselweni kwakhiwe nemgwaco losuka ehlane uyeka lomahasha. Lokho kuvetwe ngunjinela lomkhulu wemigwaco kulelitiko Vincent Dlamini.
Imigwaco yinsika yentuthuko yelive njengoba ihlanganisa lelo live nalamanye emave kutekutsengiselana kulokunye. Litiko letemisebenti lemikhulu nekutfutsa lithi lisebentela ukuthi yonke imigwaco yelive ibe ngileyo lephephile futhi lesesimeni lesikahle kufaka ekhatsi naloyo lede litiyela. Injinela lomkhulu wemigwaco kulelitiko Vincent Dlamini uthi kulomnyaka timali wahulumende wa 2024-2025 lelitiko litawube lisebenta imigwaco lemikhulu lemibili yelive.
Sisebenta umsebenzi wokuthola i-consultant etasendele feasibility study ne-detailed design is updated actually ngoba ikhona vele khona umgwaco losuka esiphofaneni uye emaloma wengce emaloma uyoshaya esigwe uzofika esiphambanweni. Lokusho ukuthi ke lo mgwaco lo yosilungisela lokho ukuthi ugcine wakhiwe ufakwe sikhundiyela ube utokhona ngoba nyalo uyigravel, so ke silungisa lokho ukuthi ugcine ufakwe sikhundiyela. Uhulumende ke uyakhulumisana nalabo labangasinika imali le ku-African Development Bank labathembisako lokuthi leyo mali leyo batayifaka. Lokunye ke lokuchubekako mhlambe sivele sitakubona indzaba yokuthi sesicedzela imidwebo yemgwaco losuka ehlane uyeka lomahasha ngoba lo mgwaco lokhona nyalo lohamba lapha eKhathe Game Reserve ehlane sesitawuthola unjinja uhambe ngaphandle kwehlane kodwa uhambe ngathi ubheka eKM3 airport but bese soyakhaya ubheka ehla ushona kubongomane ufika eSimunye bese uyachubeka ubheka kalomahasha.
Dlamini uphinze uthi kuleminye imisebenzi lelitiko livala tigodi letisemgwacweni kuqinisekisa kuphepha kwayo imigwaco yelive kunciphe netingoti temgwaco kwesekela ligoli lelive lekunciphisa tingoti temgwaco ikakhulukati leto letigcine tihambe nemiphefumulo ngalokungemashumi ekhulwini kungakefika umnyaka wa 2030. Etindzabeni teSwatini TV kubika Samkelsiwe khoza nginasikhumbuzo Dlamini eMbabane.
In international news, an Icelandic town home to some 4,000 people near the capital could be heavily damaged by a volcano expected to erupt within hours or days, experts said on Saturday.
Iceland, hit once again by a series of earthquakes. The tremors have sparked fears of a volcanic eruption in the Reykjanes Peninsula in the southwest of the island. Authorities have declared a state of emergency. According to the Icelandic Met Office, the IMO, an eruption could take place in several days. The village of Grindavik, around 3 kilometres southwest of Friday's earthquakes, has been evacuated. Not far from the town is the Blue Lagoon geothermal spa, a popular tourist destination, which was closed earlier this week as a precaution.
I get the impression that people have no idea what's going on here. They're very surprised and unaware when I tell them there are quakes and even a risk of eruptions.
Yet earthquakes are not uncommon in Iceland, one of the most geographically active regions in the world. According to the IMO, some 24,000 tremors have been registered on the peninsula since late October, as well as 3 eruptions since 2021. Eruptions which experts say could become larger and increasingly common as climate change melts glaciers.
The current deglaciation that's occurring in Iceland is affecting our volcanoes and magma bodies that are residing beneath these volcanoes. So in the future, this could mean either more frequent or larger eruptions.
Iceland has around 30 active volcanic sites, the highest number in Europe, an unpredictable environment for its residents. In 2010, an eruption in the south of the island led to the cancellation of tens of thousands of flights, leaving some 10 million people stranded.
As intense Israeli bombardments shook his neighborhood near Gaza City's Al-Shifa hospital, Palestinian journalist Rami Abu Jamuz fled his home with his wife and 4-year-old son over the weekend. Viewer discretion is advised.
We're all going to leave. We all need to hold hands, with the white flag held high. We're going to Al-Shifa, and after Al-Shifa to Yarmouk. Everyone does as they want. Those who want to go to the south will do so, and those who want to stay in Yarmouk will do that. Come on, don't be scared. Stay together. Come on, carry him, carry him. That's it, carry him on your back. Are you okay, son? Son, Baba, find Mum. We're going to find Mum. We were surrounded all night. There were bombardments everywhere. Bombardments in the tower, bombardments everywhere. Our neighbour was hit by a strike. Don't be scared. To the right, sir. To the right. Don't be scared. To the right. Don't be scared, sir.
Bravo, Baba, je suis fier de toi, Baba.
Are you okay, son? We're going to get out.
Je suis fier de toi, Habibi.
Well done, son. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you, my love.
Tell
them faster, son. Tell them faster.
Faites vite.
Maman, oh, Baba.
يابا هيهم بس امشي يلا تخافش يا حاج تخافش كلنا مع بعض يلا
Mum is there. She's there. Yes, did you see, son? They bombarded everything. Come on, he's breathing. Come on, we can carry him. Come on, we've arrived.
لسه في نفس لسه في نفس قول يا رب Oui, حبيبي يلا on est arrivé
Yes, we've arrived.
On est arrivé.
It's the hospital.
C'est l'hôpital.
We've arrived.
C'est l'hôpital, Baba. On est arrivé. Tout l'hôpital Shifa.
Everyone is leaving the hospital. Look at the dead people. Not even a morgue.
Regardez les
Look.
morts. Même pas une morgue. Regardez.
Look.
Tout le monde quitte l'hôpital.
Everyone's leaving the hospital.
Ouais, Walid, Baba. T'es monté
Walid,
sur le cheval?
are you okay,
Où le
son?
cheval?
Look, you're on a horse. Where's the horse? Look, some sheep. Look at the sheep. We just crossed the Gaza River. After an hour on the road, we've arrived. First morning in Rafah. It's so long since we've seen any vegetables. Walid is looking at vegetables as if he's seen Father Christmas. Walid, where's the donkey?
As the Palestinian death toll mounts in Gaza, international calls for a ceasefire are increasing. French President Emmanuel Macron has called on Israel to stop bombing civilians in Gaza, saying there was no justification and that the deaths were causing resentment.
Relentless aerial and artillery bombardments of the Gaza Strip, international pressure is mounting on the Israeli government to halt its offensive. The latest to call for a ceasefire is French President Emmanuel Macron, who said in an interview with the BBC that there was no justification for the bombing of civilians.
Today, civilians are bombed. De facto, these babies, these ladies, these old people are bombed and killed. So there is no reason for that and no legitimacy. So we do urge Israel to stop. I'm not a judge. I'm a head of state. I just remind everybody international law. I call for a ceasefire, and I will urge them for a ceasefire, for a humanitarian ceasefire.
President Emmanuel Macron maintained that Israel has a right to defend itself and condemned the October 7 Hamas attacks that killed around 1,200 Israelis, but said that there is no other solution than first a humanitarian pause, followed by a ceasefire in order to protect civilians who have nothing to do with terrorists. Responding on social media, Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said that ultimately it is Hamas who is responsible for harm to civilians, that they are using them as human shields, and that Israel is doing everything in its power to avoid harming civilians. Since the beginning of the conflict, Netanyahu has maintained that Israel's target is Hamas fighters and infrastructure, and has rebuffed calls for a ceasefire. However, under mounting pressure, has agreed to 4-hour daily humanitarian pauses in some parts of northern Gaza. Israel's closest ally, the US, is also shifting tone. Secretary of State Antony Blinken even went so far on Friday to say that far too many Palestinians have been killed and that much more needs to be done to protect civilians.
Global cases of TB continue to rise last year as disruption to health services caused by the COVID-19 pandemic set back efforts to fight the disease, according to the latest annual report from the World Health Organization.
Despite being treatable and curable, tuberculosis, or TB, remains one of the world's deadliest infectious diseases, causing an estimated 1.3 million deaths in 2022, according to the latest World Health Organization figures. That's a reduction of around 19% on the previous year. But there was a small increase in the number of cases to an estimated 10.6 million. Some 40% of people living with TB are undiagnosed and untreated. The COVID-19 pandemic, which began in 2020, overwhelmed health services in many parts of the world, and TB diagnosis and treatment levels plummeted.
Unfortunately, the incidence through TB is growing. We used to have a decline of 2% per year. And then due to COVID, we have now an increase for the last 2 years, 21 and 22, of almost 4%.
The World Health Organization estimates COVID-related disruptions resulted in almost 500,000 excess deaths from TB in the 3 years from 2020 to 2022. The report also reveals a concerning lack of progress in some areas.
A pretty difficult situation on people with drug-resistant TB as well as childhood TB. So drug-resistant TB, just short of 200,000 people were diagnosed and put in treatment, and exactly as WHO said, 2 out of 5 people with drug-resistant TB had access to drug-resistant TB treatment.
But the fight against TB is getting back on track. The number of cases diagnosed globally last year was 7.5 million, the highest ever recorded.
This shows that the countries buckled up to recover after COVID and even jump above the level before COVID.
A promising TB vaccine made by GlaxoSmithKline is currently in the final stage of trials, and more than a dozen other vaccines are undergoing testing.
We need a vaccine. So that will be the game changer. What it implies, I tell you what it implies. It implies to have either a vaccine that works perfectly on different age groups or several vaccines to complement each other.
The 19% fall in deaths from TB is still far short of the World Health Organization's target of a 75% reduction by 2025. Funding also fell short, reaching less than half of the WHO target of at least $13 billion for TB diagnosis, treatment and prevention services in 2022. Governments committed to spending $22 billion a year on TB by 2027 at a special UN meeting in September.
It's 29 minutes after 7. Let's take a break. We will resume with our sports news.
You have been marked for a great encounter with God. Bishop C.B. Matondo invites you to come and experience a fresh touch of the Lord as you get equipped to move in miracles, signs and wonders.
When God is trying to show you what is about to happen, it's because God loves you.
Receive your prophecy.
I see a name written. I don't know how to pronounce that, but it's like Mavuso.
Yes, I'm Mavuso.
Receive your healing.
I am not coming alone. I am bringing my prophetic healing bed.
Receive your deliverance at the Eswatini Higher Life Conference on Friday the 1st of December and Sunday the 3rd of December at Hall number 1 Mavuso Trade Center in Manzini.
Whatever it is that is disturbing you, this is the time that you come.
The time is now. Now, now, now.
Kwezemidlalo, likhethelo lesive lamamfomatana laneminyaka lengephansi kwalengemashumi likhale phansi ngemagoli lasithupha kulinye emlendeni wekucala wemidlalo yokuhlungela indzebe yemhlaba. Lo mdlalo udlalelwa enkundleni yesive kaSomhlolo kaLobamba.
Ikhethelo lamamfomatana langephansi kweminyaka lengemashumi angeneleke imidlalo yokuhlungela indzebe yemhlaba lapho athole khona nelikhethelo leGhana. Lelikhethelo ke belibuke kuncoba lomdlalo kakhulukazi ngoba belidlala ekhaya. Nokho yalihambeli kahle ke ngoba iGhana ikhombeke kuba nemandla sibili lapho khona iyekhefini ihamba embili ngamagoli 2 kulinye. Akabi ngcono ke nasesigamini sesibili lapho khona iGhana ichubekela igcine khona nayivalele amagoli 4 ngaphandle kwekuphendvula kweEswatini. Umdlalo wagcina upheleke ngamagoli 6 kulinye. Umceceshi welikhethelo athwele Dludlu ubeke kanjena ngemva kwemidlalo nasekakhulumisana nebetindzaba.
Luhlelo lwethu ukuthi 15 minutes yokucala kusibethuse babone sinathi sikhona and ukusebenzela ngoba sikhona ukuthola igoli ku around first 5 minutes yokucala umdlalo usukile but ke inhlahla lembi laseliyangena aba equalize so xa simdlalo lahle ekuthenini sinento sakufihla ukuthi iGhana beyingaduli kwethu ngekudlala ngako nekuthi ke thina ezomdlalo oqhubeka sibe mhlawumbe sesiyathila nekuthi ke isikhathi esiningi vele besingakhona kwela isenta nekuthi mhlawumbe vele technically badlali bethu abakhona ukukhahlela kahle ibhola so cha ukuthi benithu kusebenze kakhulu lokho sibathole amandla ekukhahlela ibhola iwela isenta ngoba uyabona ukuthi nangabe siwele kanye isenta sathola free kick sashaya igoli short sebesiwele ka 5 mhlawumbe samshaya 2 or 3 amagoli uyabona so ngicane kakhulu ubone nasafuna sikusebenza kwabona nje lokukhahlela lebhola lefisela ukhunyana kubantu badlane laseSwatini.
Kanti captain nomfundo Bhembe uthi abakakwendi lobe bakulungiselele nabatilolonga.
Namuhla kusele kakhulu kule shifting yethu lebe sizama ukuyipractice itolo. Ayika sikayendi kahle bese silahleka nawuthi shifting nabanye balela like bebanga baswitch on nje cishe ngibeka abanye bajali bethu.
Umlinde wesibili utodlalelwa eGhana ngeSonto lelitako. Lobekela umsakazo weSwatini TV kutemidlalo ngiphathizwe Msibi. Kalobamba.
Ngaleto temidlalo sitiphesa lapho tindzaba tefude Swati sitavahla itamakethe nasibuya site katindzaba temidlalo.
Hello and welcome to Eswatini TV and to a brand new talk show called A Kappa with Nomgebo. And I do what I have to do because I know where I'm going. All 5 of my mothers have inspired me.
So the addiction didn't happen then. It happened again another 8 years later. But that's where it started.
Choices I made at the time were not the best choices for myself.
I understand how a person can lose their mind in terms of life experiences.
That's what it looks like, and I like that. But you know what? The journey to my success is never a straight line.
Yeah, people are on the net now, and that's where we'd like to catch them with such shows.
It's 36 minutes after 7 kwalo muhla siphindze sikwamukele ehlelweni kulesikhathi sanyalo sitawu ukuxoxisana ngetemidlalo ngalokugcwelene nithathele emsakado wetemidlalo Phathizwe Msibi. Ndlondlo, welcome to the program. Sibuya kuphela sonto lebe mnanzi kakhulu kutemidlalo, particularly uma sibuka emehlo nje siwakhokha la khaya, but ngiyafuna siqale la khaya sibuke na MTN Premier League nakhona we've had exciting games. Young Buffaloes beat Denver Sundowns 3-0. Couple of other, results labe interesting, but I think we wake up this morning with a result bantu labayijabulele kakhulu ye Rangers versus Imanzini Wanderers, where Rangers won 2-0. I think my first question for you would be, which was the highlight game for the weekend? Go on kama game labe khona. I know you were out there, you were watching all the games.
The pick of the weekend is so kungaba igame yayo iMonene Pirates kanye nayo iMbabane Swallows, which didn't disappoint in terms of goals and the quality of goals as well langenile abe mahle sibili, and I'm sure viewers will get a chance to see some of those goals ehlelweni ntsambama nga 9.
Yeah.
Kudo lesikhathi elibhola Eswatini sifiso, but bekunamagoli amahle.
Yeah.
From both teams kube ngu-2-2 final score. Fash Ushai comeback lenye from, because we haven't seen Fash play in a long time. We are aware this season, and instead he scored a brace against Mbabane Swallows, which is very good for Imonene Pirates. They wait for the second point of the season. So the season.
So they
yeah, the first game by draw ne Manzini Wanderers, the first point na kona bekunkwabang 2-2 score, and nanyalo ba draw against Mbabane Swallows and score lanza 2-2. Akubahambele kahle team for ikakhulu bona beMonene Pirates sifiso kusanga se ngibo nje kuphela laba sanga se bawina ngishona munye umdlalo.
I think it's interesting Phathizwe ngoba sikhuluma ngeMonene Pirates lana tsinzaweni indzawo ukuthi they only have 2 points basemsileni we standings. But here's the interesting thing for me. Mbabane Swallows, if they won this game, ngabe bak number 1 nyalo. With what 17 points.
So kuna le aspect le ukuthi kunama games la postpone. Ukuthi national team is second, so kunebadlali abasekembini. An opportunity even to just explain this a bit. Ukuthi kunabadlali abasekembini. EFA ne Premier League bavumelana ukuthi okay, ema team lana badlala incumbi national team ngeke sibakhulule sidabayekela ngeke badlale this weekend. Mawone badlala incumbi. Laba sekembini, because normally lokwendeka kola kaNgwane from some few years back because makutodlala sihlangu banike the national team a week earlier to prepare even before FIFA week. So they did the same. And ke sibonile na last season kwaba nema reservations from Premier League akayifa kahle kahle nyalo the administration lekhona ayithakasele leyo decision leyo. So kuye bese kuba naleko cabacabana lokuba khona. So even at this time ke bekunaloko yathi sibadlali baku camp iPremier League ngala na keep fixture ukuthi siyadlalisa ngeweekend. So ema team lana labadlali incumbi ba encourage ukuthi ababhale babhalele iPremier League ukucela postpone amagame abo ukuthi amane acancel postpone ke amagames emateam lawo njalo Green Mamba boRoyal Leopards labana abadlala inqumbi bo Highlanders babana Swallows lenayo ina 5 abadlali ku national team
ayikabhali yona
yangabhali yona yabhala yathi icela kusibadlali bayo babakhulule bafuna ukuyodlala bona but bona they don't want to play catch up games because bese kuyabakama sebatodlala ngeweekend midweek.
But do you think that was their best reason behind it? Nobe bakhobosa le Pirates labayibona ngathi sekugcineni.
No, ireason yabo bekuthi abafuni ukudlala sebadlala under pressure.
Okay.
Kuthi badlala midweek badlala ngeweekend midweek ngeweekend bese kuyabakama bona.
Yeah.
Abakufuni lokho. They wanted to play, which I don't think it was a smart move from their side, because if you're looking at it ngenakhuza ngale results like to leseligcina balithola. Swallows they only received the players from Slangu I think it was Friday. Friday Swiss. Badlala Sunday. Friday sekude kujima lonkanando kwenda. Friday Saturday. Or it might have been even Saturday. So baba release late, and if you find out ukuthi labadlali kuna Neliso kuna Gadlela kuna Newman Philiso kuna kwakhe kuna Nuno. Labadlali abo most of them are starters ngibona Swallows, and they walk straight to the first team, first 11 vele naitolo, say for 201. Look, Chela kusila badlala bakachim the whole week kanye nale team, but they go straight to starting a game. Hence, I'm not surprised about the results. I think it was a poor decision from their administration, poor decision even from their coach to start all of them against Beba Solo bangasibo laba active echimini nale team. So that was the case. Labanye umfuya butos an labanye bo abagadlala. No, it was Babana Swallows who specifically asked but at the same time I'm going to put the blame nakhona ku FA for releasing the players very late. Release, I think Saturday because Friday beba udlala a national team yabo udlala a practice match Mozambique behambile nabo. So
it's quite interesting. I wouldn't want to blame the late release Patizwe. Indzaba lenkulu isekuthenini ngiyakubona ukuthi bayakuniketa le honors ukuthi nyalo ungadecide ukuthi uyaqhubeka noma uqhubeke. I don't think it was a smart decision by Imbabane Swallows ukuthi ifuna ukuqhubeka, especially because yes yayiva le excuse le shoko, but I give you where we at Valenvole. There are other teams.
It wasn't a smart decision. Very, very poor decision from their part. But then again, nabo bibona lokuthi phela iFA isifiso ngekomthetho. They breached the FIFA rules by taking the players. But for all the teams, they breached the FIFA rules. I would see this is not a FIFA week. It's an agreement between Premier League and FA. It's a local agreement. There is nowhere that's written. It's a gentleman's agreement. So if a team doesn't want to honor that, FA should also honor the fact that Lona Gafun should also respect the fact that Lona only reservation in camp this weekend. I mean, I'll put the blame to Imbabane Swallows didn't have the pressure to see game this weekend.
Yeah.
Because most of the teams will play midweek.
Yeah.
Just like
them. Exactly.
Why did they want to be different this time around? They want to see the blame is everywhere, but it's Swallows by the book. They cannot take the blame. But
they cannot, but because they have suffered the results of their own decisions, I think this is where we say now, Wutsi, you could have made the better decision, the better choice. I mean, you could potentially be position one coming into the following week, depending on how things unfold. Games,
but also everyone behind it.
Exactly. So, but here's Young Buffaloes versus Denver Sundowns. I think Young Buffaloes has been playing quite really well. Yeah, it's been inconsistent, but I think them getting this win is a big boost. Gumorale yabo. Nekutibuka nje ukuthi we are still good top 5 and we still have a chance to go up.
So say Buffalo kumele ukuthi ngabe compete. As a matter of fact, Manos ngabe compete at the start kule season yabo nje ayisiso lencansi bangasijabulela. But we've seen Buffaloes ibala before at some point siyadlala the first 3 games siyadliwa onke, and they went on to compete yabaqetha ileague iku top 2. So loku kungabatfusa beBuffaloes but phinde bathi hayi now we can still recover, the season is still young. So they won 3-0 against Denver Sundowns with Saviola scoring a brace. So it's a work in progress for them. They'll come back.
But the other scores, Wanderers, lost to Rangers 2-0.
Wanderers should be worried.
Yeah.
Because if you're losing against the other relegation candidate. Kukufaka inkinga kakhulu if you can't win against someone you're competing against. And imagine a team le Manzini Wanderers sekuthiwa ishaya ingemba. It won't be pretty for everyone involved in terms of from Manzini Wanderers and of course their fans, and but also again for the football in general in the country. Looking at the number of fans they have, so now they are going to the first division, and first division you're not guaranteed because you'll come back just like that. You just have to work as much but if they don't sort out their house very soon, and
it's definitely not looking good at all, especially losing to Rangers 2-0. That's exactly. But I want us to go to South Africa. I think we've had a great week, but the spectacle was also in South Africa's Bonili Soweto Derby on Saturday. We also saw a couple of other games: Golden Arrows versus Amazulu, Richards Bay versus Cape Town Spurs, and Sekhukhune versus SuperSport. But the spectacle, of course, was the Soweto Derby. I think going into the game, both teams began inconsistent leading up to that game. So everyone had hope with the good winner in, and I know you're a Kaizer Chiefs fan, but so ngistela nje vele ngempela sonto yakho lobuya kwencenye uthuthekile ngale English Premier League, but star kuya lapho asikhulume ngeKaizer Chiefs. I'm sorry ukuthi you lost. I think the better team won, scoring the goal in the 20th minute. Was it a fair game? Because these days with VAR, with everything, especially emotions are high in my derby, some decisions. Are you happy with the result?
No, the result is a reflection of the game. Okay. Pirates, they came better prepared, they were better, they play with a high tempo, and if you looked at the lineup from both teams, Chiefs, they were more concerned about defending the attacking Pirates more than going out there to go get a goal, because the only out-and-out attacking players they had in the first 11 Chiefs, it was the striker Chivaviro, Anatoli. And then they had the diamond midfield of Castillo, Marti, those players from Tetwa. And the most surprising inclusion in that first 11 was Kwanika, who hasn't played since Johnson took over. And we have figured good day. Attack from Hoto. He was more concerned about the attack, not him attacking. So I think those are a few issues that define the game, because Pirates 70 said that, and they piled up the pressure. Go Chiefs. They consider 20 minutes, and then just because they are not attacking well, the Chiefs, they are calling Pirates good deal and Nalama threats are very limited going forward. So it was a fair game. I think Pirates came better prepared, and Chiefs is so since the season, I say team long overall. But Pirates, if you watch their game, they lose some of the games, but the performance is convincing because they are playing very well. They are playing in high tempo. We are babona every time. Everyone is busy, making runs, making movements. So I honestly think they deserve to win.
Let's talk about Manchester United singing the English Premier League. Really interesting, show up and display of football by Manchester United, especially after a really rough start into the season. I think Manchester United fans are going to hope once again. We will put that aside now. UEFA. Just focus on maybe the last two games go English Premier League. I was watching some of the fans Bakuluma on social media and some of the interviews in England after the game. You can see that there's some hope that has been restored from how Manchester is playing. But you are a pundit, Patizwa. For sure, I can assume you're not yet fully convinced, even after this win.
I've never been in doubt in Manchester. First of all, more especially the coach.
As a fan or as a pundit? Because it's very important to
as a pundit, because there are many things involved. I'll still say this. We've had Mourinho, Ole, Louis van Gaal, and RR, Ralph. We've had all those coaches. And we've signed players, quality players, we've brought into the team. And they all but bafika la teamini, bafike behle, bonke bo coach bafike behle, even Jose Lohambe, lo Cyril Win, wafike wathi kuqetha number 2 kule team there. It's more of an achievement than he has ever achieved. Lo mflo win Champions League kanjalo.
So probably top 3 greatest of all time.
Yeah, I understand.
Also,
So lenginga I still believe ukuthi iku Manchester as an institute. But so just news updates ukuthi this week or maybe next week, we expect to go to Manchester announce the sale, 25% sale of the team to Sir Jim. So,
and that's good news.
We hope, because the promises at Sir Jim utaonaga the footballing part of it. Yeah, so we hope it's on a team with Sir Jim Ratcliffe, France, which is currently top, if not second, right now in the league. But they are coming from a relegation now. So we have that hope with the kind of looked out change. But so looking at the previous results, IOE, Manchester United, I think against Luton, they missed so many chances, and they played well overall. But they just a problem you go catch. And of course, in Luton, after coming back from that, it draw a Liverpool where they could have won the game because they considered deep in injury time.
Sure.
So the confidence was high, and they played very well. They didn't play like a team Lebuya first division. So it was a good result for Manchester United, but the performance-wise they can still improve. And Luton will take that game and say, if we can build from these two past games, let's go. We can actually survive relegation but they apply like they did Mabadala, the top teams.
But so here's a team that I'm worried about, Tottenham Hotspur.
Yeah.
I'm worried because it's quite interesting. Last week we were sitting here, we're looking at Tottenham as position 1. Today, not even top 3.
Yeah.
They got a whooping from Wolves. And, they
got the back-to-back defeat.
Yeah.
Because Bakala Chelsea.
Yeah. I mean, the Chelsea one, I was telling Master, I believe, Chelsea is going to beat Tottenham. And he said...
No, let me say this. Now, if you watch that game, Tottenham was going to win that game. Because it's Sfiso...
So Chelsea won that game.
Until Sfiso, you said, we're analyzing the game. The defining moments of the game was those 2 red cards from Tottenham.
Fair.
That shifted the balance of the game.
Right.
Exactly. But now again, talk about Chelsea against Manchester City.
We'll get to that one. Let's finish the Wolves and Tottenham game. Yeah. It's very important that we analyze this one. Of course, Tottenham scored the first goal in the 3rd minute of the opening minutes of the game.
Yeah.
3 minutes into the game, they score. It came if 90 minutes, Tottenham leader 1-0. It was very amazing. On the 91st minute, equalizer Wolves. On the 97th minute, they score their winning goal. What is the problem?
The problem is the coach.
Really?
Yeah. Okay, they have their injuries. Fine. Go key players and that red card, one of their best defenders. But again, I'll make example of that Chelsea game.
Yeah.
And of course, Le game your Wolves. You are a team that's going for a championship. You want to win the league. You will never win the league in England if you are careless in terms of your tactics. It was an atmosphere against Chelsea. They were leading, and they go on to say go score 7-1 at some point. But bona baqhubeka badlala the same way labadlala ngayo, which is a high line, which was wrong. Against Wolves, you are leading. We are bona kuslaba msepak attack.
Yeah.
Defend, sit back. If you don't get to do that, utawuphela Sfiso.
Yeah.
So I think that's the biggest problem. Go see your coach who ufuna insist go the same tactics for 90 minutes. You have to be flexible. Move around the formations, move around the players, and try to see who understand the talking. I have to defend, and just do that, defend.
Yeah, Patizo, I would have loved for us to talk about Arsenal versus Burnley, but also I don't think it's a game we want to talk about like that. I mean, position 20 and the top third, team, of course.
But they won. We give them the credit.
Yeah. We're going to clap hands for Arsenal, even with the red card. So that showed character, but also they were playing against a really weak side. Liverpool also won against Brentford. We don't have enough time to talk about my team's disparity. Let's talk about my games. Let's talk about Man City versus Chelsea.
With the Chelsea number 1, Manchester City number 1.
Yeah, but no. Yes, but it's very important.
So in terms of status.
Yes, exactly. Okay. Let's talk about status now. going into the weekend, it was the most anticipated game.
Yeah.
And even the commentators were saying, does this game go into the history books of the English Premier League as one of the most games, highlights?
No, that was exciting. That game was
Let's
exciting.
talk about it. Let's talk about it. I mean,
Yes.
I know you were expecting Manchester to beat Chelsea.
Yeah.
Like many other fans.
Yeah, and rightfully so. Statistically and otherwise, and form-wise.
I would say statistically, of course. But
Yeah.
looking at how
Form-wise-
Chelsea has played their last few games.
Form-wise, Manchester City. Everything was pointing at Manchester City winning that game.
I'm not the type of person to negate previous games. So the last game that Chelsea played, they won.
Yeah.
That should scare you.
And City has won the last 6 games they've played.
That's fine, but...
So I'm trying to tell Guti...
Okay, statistically
in terms of,
and otherwise.
and form-wise,
Right.
Manchester City were the favourites to win the game.
Okay, let's talk about it. Chelsea opened the scoring on the 29th minute. Silva, of course, 1-0. We're leading. And then things just started changing.
So what I appreciated most about yesterday's game, no one went there to defend.
Yeah.
They wanted goals. And so if Chelsea iqhubeka kanje, there'll be a problem. Now the problem for them is, are they going to be able to apply the same tempo even if badlala na the smaller teams? Because the equal attitude yokuthi you are playing a weaker team, we can just take off, just relax a bit. But so if they don't do that, Chelsea's fit, so probably not this season, but definitely next season they will challenge. They have the players, they have everything. And bayakhula bamaturisha to the English Premiership. But Jackson is getting into the groove of things. They're going to go EPL. And of course, Nangale City, I'll still say they're missing Haaland. They're missing De Bruyne. Sorry to say, they're missing De Bruyne.
Yeah.
So with him, you see the chances, they're not as... Because City managed to create more than 10, 15 chances in every game because of De Bruyne, the passes he makes, and the difference in the team. So now that he's not there, if you're not going to say Anglale back, you'll have them now.
Yeah.
Because the Chelsea City, say at Manchester City, they are good going forward, but let's test their resilience in defense. Imagine City conceding 4 goals.
Yeah.
Only because they were playing against a team who's attacking them.
Yeah, and that was really interesting.
So that was a nice game. Sterling, Palmer, Jackson, they were on fire.
Great display.
Yeah.
Everyone also came to fight. It was a war.
Yeah.
But I want a spectacle just a little bit on Erling Haaland because we've had this argument, particularly with a lot of you guys, like my pundits at Senini. He's not convincing enough. No. I know you are different. I know you're different, and this is why I want to have this conversation.
Okay.
I wouldn't want to have it with someone else on that seat, because it's very important. A lot of football fans feel like a striker should be like maybe Suarez, maybe, and other strikers. But Erling Haaland is not your typical goal scorer.
Please, let me cut you right there. Erling Haaland is the most typical striker you'll ever find in Mhlabeni. You know why? Haaland is a goal scorer. He just score a goal. Don't want Haaland to go defend.
Yeah.
Access strong point sack. Haaland umfunele goal, right? He's a number 9. Give him the ball, he'll score. If Haaland is khulumela ukuthi sifiso uyagage my chances, ngabe siyamdoubt. But he's not. If you're not creating for him, he can't convert anything.
Thank you, because that's always been my argument.
Striker ngiloko sifiso. If anyone else believes ukuthi striker kumele siyomaka, kumele si-assist, kumele sipass.
Let's dribble kaneng.
Those are converted strikers, most of them. Go to coming from the wing, they're comfortable like Salah. You'll expect that from Salah because he can do that.
Yeah.
Haaland is a goal scorer. Give him the ball, he'll score goals for you. He scored a brace yesterday. Give him the ball, create the chance for him, he'll score.
Yeah, but Palmer was the star of the show.
Yeah,
Funny enough, at Greneni, with that penalty in the 95th minute. Partizo have run out of time, but I just want to highlight quickly, like you said, Manchester City is known for creating a lot of chances, especially when De Bruyne is there. But he wasn't there, and yet they made 15 shots on target, Abeng 10. And Chelsea on the other side had 17 shots and 9 shots on target. Like you said, beg your attack, beg your korema
from both sides.
Yeah.
It was a beautiful game, so no doubt. And I now commentators could say it can go down as one of the best games go EPL league.
Especially because my games la kanjalo abukakala ukuthi nawakhala ama highlights you can feel
lapho ngaphuma na 45 minutes of highlights. Exactly. Just 45 minutes.
Thank you Patizwa Msibi for providing your insights. Ngwelo muhle sesifike emaphethelweni ehlelo lethu la lo mhlaba sifisile kungathi singaya na le Spain siyobuka kancane bo Lewandowski labakwendile lapha ku Spanish La Liga, but because of time asisakhona sale kahle.